wait for the call this time than you might have expected, but what did it feel like to get the news?
Yeah, you know what? You try to leave expectations kind of at the door and just go about your business and work. But definitely, really happy and excited to be here, especially this time of year. These hockey games are really fun to be a part of. It's fun pushing with the group to make the playoffs and really bear down over the next month or so. So it's great to be here.
I saw the other day you signed an extension, so obviously you must be pretty happy with how things have gone down there.
Yeah, absolutely. Big thing to have a little consistency. My family hasn't been there at all this year. Seen them a couple times, so to have some continuity and to know where we're going to be working next year, at least with state and organization. It's good. My wife's happy. Owed it to her after a couple PTOs to get a situation sorted out rather quickly this time. So I think she's happier about this summer coming up than the last few.
Where do you feel your game's at?
It feels good. Obviously, playing a little bit of a different role than that I'm going to coming back here to Detroit, but everything's the same. In Grand Rapids we're competing for playoff spot, pushing for points. I've found a bit of offense that over the last couple of years in the NHL, kind of getting those lower minutes and in and out of lineups. We're all human. Confidence is a big thing, so get that back a little bit feels good, and I'm happy with my game.
Have you kind of adapted to your role down there as kind of like that veteran leader and stuff like that, Austin?
Yeah, yes and no. I think you definitely feel veteran as a 33-year-old with a bunch of 20-year-olds, but at the same time, my goals and aspirations are still the same as they were when I was 20 years old, and they're the same as those guys. I want to compete. I want to be able to show that there's a level of hockey that I can play at that can be useful for this team here. And then when you get that chance, just you go about your business and you try to play your game to the best of the abilities and help the team. Right now, everything's so critical. Points are so crucial that anything you can do just to help game in, game out, practices, energy, all that kind of stuff. It's good.
With your experience, what are some of the keys at this point, so late in the season, the AHL, NHL? What are, for a group especially?
Well, I think you got to be able to dial in 100% to each day and then move to the next day. You can't get too hung up on the highs and lows of how everything's going. Obviously this team's a great example. A 10-2 stretch and a 2-7 stretch. Like those things happen, but you can't wallow in it. And you can't get too high either. You just have to be consistent in your game and the way that you approach each day, and really just buy in all together.
Todd, what's the latest on Soderblom and Gustafsson?
I'll start with Gus. Gus is going to be out long term. What does that mean? I don't know, but he won't play in the next, probably till the end of the regular season. With Elmer, he's still day-to-day. He's doing a workout off ice. He's coming on the trip, and we hope that he'll play at some point on it.
And also, it looked like Edmondson's going to replace Gustafsson there on the power play there.
Well, in practice today he did. We're trying to formulate a plan and figure out who might fit there. Simon will get some opportunity, but there may be others that get rotated through, and we'll just see how it all plays out.
Well, Edmondson's a guy, he has shown some offensive ability there, even though he hasn't played hardly any on the power play.
Yeah, he's had a good year offensively, despite not getting a ton or any power play time since we've been here. But he does have the tool set to command or quarterback a power play from the top. He's got a tremendous shot, and we'll encourage him to use that. If he sees an shooting opportunity on the power play, we want him to, take it.
So filling in for Gus in the lineup tab right now, it's Lag. I mean, is Petrie going to be ready here during this trip?
He's going to be ready, but it won't be tomorrow in Vegas. He will not play tomorrow in Vegas. At the back end of this trip, there's a possibility. We've had Lagus in here for a long time, and He's been chomping at the bit to get in, so he'll get his opportunity to play, and we expect a lot from him despite being probably a little rusty.
How difficult would it be for a guy like that to jump in like that, especially this time of season too?
That's his job. There are players in the league that end up in those roles, and they're fortunate to be in the league, but they're there because they can adapt and do those things. And I think of, my time here in Detroit earlier with Mark Mowers and Jamie Rivers and these type of experienced pros. They're not young kids, and they kept themselves well conditioned and ready to play. And when their number was called, they went in and played. And it's good to have those players in the organization. And it's always a test when they go back in, but I know that Willie will expect a lot from himself, and we will as well.
For Alex Lyon, what is the path back to the lineup right now, whether as starter or backup? And with the back-to-back at the start of next week, is that potentially an option?
Tomorrow's game is his path back, so he'll be involved in the game tomorrow, whether he'll be a starter or a backup, but he'll be there. I'm sorry?
Who's your starter?
We'll let you know tomorrow.
Vegas with a pretty impressive home record this season. What are going to be some of the elements of a good road game, not only Saturday, but for the rest of this trip here?
Yeah, this isn't a walk in the park trip for our club. Obviously, know those teams out there probably better than I do the Eastern Conference, and Vegas is a tough building to play in. Just the energy and the that seventh man factor, similar to what we have here in Detroit. But it's full of energy. They play well in that building. They'll have some players back, and I'm sure they'll be much more energized than what they were here a week ago or whenever it was. So hands full there. We're going to have to get off to a good start, and we need everybody on board. I know that's a cliche, and everybody says that, but it's as simple as that. We're a good team, but we're a good team when everybody's playing. We're a pretty average team when we're missing 4 or 5 players and you're trying to find them throughout the night. So that's something we'll look forward to, not only in Vegas, but also the other 2 games.
Hey, Todd, what could a guy like Austin Watson bring into the lineup if he gets into the lineup? What could he bring for?
Well, he's an experienced player. Again, he's similar to what I talked about with Laggy, the veteran guy that's been around on a lot of teams. He knows who he is, and he knows how he has to play to have success at this level. I hear a lot about his energy and enthusiasm around the team, and you could feel it a little bit in practice today. So that's a good thing for us as well at this point.
I know you said Edvinson's just one of the options for the power play, but have you, based on what you've seen from him so far, do you like the idea of him running a power play?
Yeah, if we didn't, he wouldn't have got that practice time, but we're going to find out. There's no simple answer to that question. He'll get an opportunity. That unit tends to get a little less time if the first unit or the Larkin unit's playing well and producing. Their minutes get shrunk up a fair amount. So is he going to get 6 minutes of power play time a night? No. He's going to get a lower total, or whoever's in that situation to get a lower total, and they have to be productive with what they get.